Hi, I'm George Heckman, Vice President of Sales for the Northern Division of Good Guys. You'll also hear later in the tape from Bobby Ghaznavi, our Vice President of Sales for the Southern Division of Good Guys, Chris Frederick, our Director of Training and Sales Communication, and most importantly, a few of our top product specialists who are going to share some of their best practices with you. As Ken Weller stated during our recent vendor trainings, we have two goals this year as a company. Number one, returning to profitability. This can only be achieved if each product specialist increases their personal income over last year. We'd like to see each of you increase your personal income at least 10% this year over last year. Secondly, and this is key to achieving the first objective, we must improve our customers' in-store experience. This is where you play the most vital role of all. We've made some great progress on the profitability side so far this fiscal year. You know, we've had 4 straight months of positive comp store sales, and that's a direct tribute to your performance, and we'd like to thank you for that. Secondly, as it relates to the customer's in-store experience, we've seen a dramatic decrease in customer complaints coming into the corporate office. However, we think we can do far better in this area, and we've introduced a great new tool that we can use to measure our progress. We call it the Mystery Shopper Program. We'll have a mystery shopper visit each store 3 times a month. We'll have the scores available to you almost immediately online. There'll be some opportunity for you to get some extra rewards for 100% customer shopping experiences. But remember, the biggest rewards for 100% customer experience is going to be dramatically greater sales for each and every one of us. While the mystery shopper will evaluate the entire scope of our customers' in-store experience, today we'd like to focus on the 5 steps of the sale and how well we're executing on that. I'm going to turn you over to Bobby Ghaznavi, who's going to review with you what we're looking for in the mystery shop as it regards the 5 steps of the sale and how well we've been scoring on those 5 steps over the past couple of months. Bobby, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, George. Now, the shoppers have been in our stores for a few months now. I just wanted to go over some of the results and also let you know what they're looking for. All right, now these questions are all related to steps of the sale. First question, how long were the mystery shoppers in the department before you assist them? And that's basically approach. As a company, we scored 76% out of 100. Second question, did you ask the shopper questions to determine their needs? Basically, qualifying. Did you qualify them? And we scored a 76 again out of 100. Third question, did you present options that met the shopper's needs? Again, that's qualifying and demonstrating combined. And as a company, we scored a 71%. The fourth thing, did you demonstrate how the product works? Which is basically a demonstration. And we scored a 76% again. The fifth question, did you attempt to overcome the shopper's objection to purchasing the product? Overcoming objections. And unfortunately, we scored 61%. And last but not the least, did you ask the shopper to make a purchase today? And that's basically asking for the sale. And we scored, unfortunately, a 56%. As you can see, you did better in some areas than others. Asking for the sale is probably the most important part of the steps of the sale. Steps of the sale are the basics of selling. Remember, if you don't ask for the sale, you probably won't get the sale. We want you guys to increase your income this year by 10%. And one of the easiest way of doing that is by asking for the sale each time you're with a customer.
Thanks, Bobby. Imagine that. Our product specialists only asking for the sale about half the time. If you recall what I said earlier in the tape, our goal this year is for each and every product specialist to increase their personal income by at least 10% this year. That can be easy, or it can be pretty hard if you're only asking for the sale half the time. I'm going to turn you now over to Chris, who's going to give you a couple of tips on different ways you can ask for the sale, and then we'll hear from some of our best product specialists who ask for the sale each and every time.
Thanks, George. I want to take an opportunity to give you 3 basic techniques that you can use to help you ask for the sale. First, there's the invitation close. Next, the assumptive close. And finally, the alternative close. I'd like to take a moment to review each of them in detail. First, the invitational close. With the invitational close, you simply invite the customer to buy. Some examples include, should we write it up? Or, are you ready to get it right now? Next, the assumptive close. Now this assumes that the customer has already said yes, and that's your mindset. A few examples. Can we write it up over here? Will this be on your Good Guys card? What time would you like that delivered? And finally, the alternative close. With the alternative close, that you assume the customer is buying by asking for a decision between two buying alternatives. Does tomorrow or a weekend delivery work best for you? Do you want the 40 or 80 watt amp? Or do you want the black or the gray model? So those are just some of the many techniques that you can use when asking for the sale. Well, to give us some more techniques, let's go out to the stores and talk to some of our top performers and find out what they use when they ask for the sale.
My favorite way to close a sale is to assume that the sale has already been closed. If you've done your job, you approach, present, handle objections, and you first and foremost create that rapport with the customer, the sale's already closed. Just ask them when they want it. If you see a couple looking at each other and they get that eye contact with each other during any time, or they look at whoever's with them, their son, once they start looking at each other, assume from that point that the sale is closed. Every time. You could simply ask for the sale, explain your guaranteed low price policies, financing, and reasons why they would buy from you personally. The financing and guaranteed low price. The 60 days is huge. If you're not using that, then you're doing a disservice to yourself. You're wasting time. It's those transfers of enthusiasm that you give to a customer and they close the sale itself. But one thing you want to do is you always want to ask for the sale. Always.
The customer's here to buy something. If they didn't want to buy something, they wouldn't be in the store. They could tell you that they're looking, they could tell you anything else, but they want to buy something. It's your job to make sure that they buy it from you, that they buy it today. I use the assumptive close a lot because after I've done a good enough job, I assume that they're going to buy from me, and I assume that I'm the person that they want to get it from. And then I always try to narrow it down to two products so that I can give an alternative closing. If you want to do the Sony or you want to do the JVC. Well, I tell the customer that we're guaranteeing them the lowest price for the next 60 days, which means that if we put it on sale for a lower price, come back in, we'll refund you the difference. Or if you continue to shop and you see it someplace else, come back in and I'll refund you the difference. The benefit that gives me, it gives me the power to close the sale right then because I have the product in stock. They can walk out, they can leave with it. If you do a bad job, then they are just shopping and they'll go to Magnolia, they'll go to Best Buy or Circuit City and buy from them. If you want the commission, you have to ask for it. You have to do your job properly. You tell them about the low price guarantee for 60 days. You make sure that they know that this is the product for them. If they find it cheaper, come back in. You even tell them that you have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee so that if they're not completely happy with it, they can return it. If you've done a good enough job, you shouldn't be afraid to tell them about that. I mean, nobody wants to give you their money. You have to ask them for it. You can do the best job in the world, but if you don't ask them for the sale, you're not going to get it half the time.
The way it basically works is if someone comes into the store, they're obviously looking to buy something, or they've been thinking about buying something. It's your job to try to sell it to them. If you spend the time to talk to them, show them the camcorder, show them whatever it is that they're looking at, you should take time to ask for the sale. I mean, it's your privilege, it's your right, because if they're coming in to talk to you, obviously they're interested in something. Even if you do a poor presentation, even if you don't feel you have any rapport with the customer, even if you feel he doesn't even like you, just ask for the sale, because maybe he wants to buy that product. Maybe he's been to 4 of the stores, and you're the 5th store he's been to. This is the product he's wanted. He's asked everyone the same exact questions. Everyone's giving the same exact answers. Why not ask for the sale? It doesn't hurt you at all. The time to ask for the sale is after you feel that this is the product for the customer. See, what you want to do, obviously you want to say hello to the customer, you want to greet the customer, you want to qualify the customer, you want to make sure that from what he's told you, this is the product for him, and you feel good about that's the correct product for him, then you ask for the sale. I mean, if you feel like you've talked about other products, you've extended all options, you've showed him everything, narrowed down to 2 products, and from those 2 products, he tends to like one over the other, or you feel this best suits his needs, say, this is the product I recommend for you. Would you like to pick it up? Would you like me to see if it's available? Do you need batteries to go with the camcorder? Do you need an performance guarantee to go with your big screen television? Do you want me to look for a stand? whatever it takes. If I talk to the customer for a long time, I try to use my assumptive close. I assume that since we're talking for X period amount of time, he's really interested in buying the product, everything is going towards the closing statement. Every question I start asking close to the end of the sale is, I'm assuming he's going to buy the product today. You'll be happier because you close the sale. They'll be happier with you because they'll feel they got the right product the first time they went to a store or the second time they went into a store. If you know customers shopped around, obviously they're extremely interested in buying the product that they're looking for. It's your job to close them that day. You should hope that a customer came from a different store. If a customer comes from somewhere else, and I know that, especially if it's the same day, I should close that sale today. I should ask for the sale. The worst fear is that if they go to another store, that other store might close them based on all your information. That customer that spent an hour with you might spend 10 minutes with him. If that guy asked for the sale and you didn't, he's probably going to close them. Or he has a better opportunity because you never asked him if he wanted to pick it up today. That guy spent 10 minutes and said, would you like to pick it up today? You know what? Based on everything the guy Good Guys told me, yes I do. Would you really want to hear that?
Boy, those were some simple, effective, and easy to implement techniques, weren't they? Your challenge is to get out on the sales floor right after you finish watching this tape, put them to work for you with each and every customer that you're going to interact with today and going forward. Remember, we want you to increase your income by at least 10% this year over last year. That way, the company will reach its 2 goals, and those are returning to profitability, improving our customers' in-store experience. Today is the day. Let's put it to work for all of us and enjoy the rewards that are sure to come. Thank you.